If you use Treelawn during your morning commute, you may need to go another way. 2 Sioux fire trucks responded to a call at Bud Robinson's on Great Northern Road at 5 o'clock this morning. While the damage to the exterior of the building seems minimal, officials at the scene wouldn't comment on that or any interior damage. It appears there were no injuries as that investigation continues. On Tuesday, City Police arrested 25-year-old Joshua Roas of Gully River on outstanding warrants. The accused was wanted for fail to appear and breach of probation with relation to 2 separate incidents. He was held for bail court. Roas was also wanted in connection to an assault that took place on May 29th at a residence on Gore Street. The others arrested in connection with the incident are 40-year-old Bernie Nadon of Morin Street, 29-year-old Brody Barnes of No Fixed Address, 43-year-old James Mayer of Gore Street, and 33-year-old Nadine Nichols of Hillside Drive. They all face several charges, including assault with a weapon, robbery, and forcible confinement. Chief Paul Surratt of the Garden River First Nation announced yesterday that the ratification process to resolve a lawsuit relating to the western boundary of the Garden River First Nation has begun. Garden River First Nations has been engaged in an ongoing dialogue with Ontario and Canada representatives on the lawsuits since 2003. The goal of these discussions was to try to find the common ground that would enable the parties to resolve the lawsuit constructively and cooperatively. Canada, Ontario, and Garden River First Nation have developed a good working relationship through the process. Negotiators for the parties reached an agreement on what constitutes reasonable compensation for the losses to the First Nation as a result of the 1853 survey error. The western boundary of the First Nation, established under the Robinson-Huron Treaty, was surveyed incorrectly. Certain lands adjacent and to the west of that boundary should have been included within the First Nation at the time of the survey. Certain lands also should not have been removed on the basis that they formed part of a mining location. Agriculture Ministers Marie-Claude Bibeau and International Trade Diversification Minister Jim Carr responded to China's ban on Canadian meat imports. The 2 ministers met with beef and pork producers in Montreal to discuss China's decision to suspend imports from Canada because of claimed concerns over fraudulent inspection reports.
Our first priority is to reopen the market. We have daily conversation with the Chinese authorities, which give me hope that we could find a solution. The objective is really to reassure our trading partner that there will be no more inauthentic certificate in circulation. They can be reassured in our export system, and I want to put the emphasis on the fact that it's only the system, the export system for meat to China, that has been impacted. So we have to reassure our Chinese partner for them to reopen the market.
Countless conversations with our allies. And wherever I travel in the world, I talk to Canada's allies about this difficult moment we're having with China. And we talk about those Canadians who have been detained. We talk about allegations that our canola somehow contains impurities. And our allies are agreeing with us, and in their own way and within their own comfort zones, there are many messages that are being sent to Chinese officials.
The Chinese government is accusing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of being naive in assuming that President Donald Trump did him any favors by raising the case of 2 imprisoned Canadians with President Xi Jinping. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry, Geng Shuang, was talking yesterday about Trudeau's comment a day earlier in Toronto, where he said he was confident Trump raised the matter with Xi at the G20 summit in Japan this past weekend. In an Oval Office meeting last month with Trudeau, Trump said he would raise the plight of Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor in his planned meeting with Xi as a favor to Canada. Trump said before leaving the G20 in Japan that he hadn't discussed the Meng case with Xi, raising questions about whether he made good on his White House commitment to Trudeau to protest Kovrig and Spavor's detentions. Minister of Foreign Affairs Chrystia Freeland says Canada does not agree with Russia's strong stance towards Ukraine. Freeland made the comments at this week's Ukraine Reform Conference in Toronto.
I think that it is incredibly important for all of us to understand, that Putin is not hiding what he's up to. He's been very clear, including most recently in the FT. He thinks that the liberal idea, the whole way that we live, the whole core notion of how we've built our society, that's what he's opposed to. He is opposed to the rules-based international order and multilateralism, and he is doing a lot of things around the world. When it comes to the geopolitics of Canada's support for Ukraine and of Canada's firm position towards Russia, frankly, it has nothing to do with our Rwanda. The reason that Canada takes the positions we do is because we do not agree that the liberal idea is dead. We do not accept that the rules-based international order should just be thrown away.